All right, so you can see that our next goal is that leg. So let's start establishing the same pattern of work that we did for the arm. So I'll go in on the bottom where I want to extrude that leg, and thigh is a lot thicker than an arm, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to grab the edges here, and I'm just going to pull this out a bit so that I can make that leg a little thicker up at the top where the thigh muscles are. And once again, I'll begin to extrude faces. So I'll click on face, select that face, and I'll hit my extrude tool. And what you want to do at this point is you're going to start to try and make that turn. You'll see from this model, the finished piece here, there are a couple of turns here. So that's what you want to kind of establish and accomplish in this process. So what it means is that in addition to scaling, obviously, you want to start to rotate those faces that you need to extrude from, like so. So I'm going to hit G, I'll pull another one out. So, and I'll scale it a bit perhaps, and I'm definitely going to rotate so that I can start to pull the thigh out of that. Be careful when you start to manipulate these. Go. You can always add more afterwards. Again, philosophy is fewer polys the better. So I'll hit G and I'll pull it out again. I'll move it up, rotate that plane so I can start directing it out towards the ankle, like so. I think I'm just ballparking this where the toe angle will be. Usually your calf is a little thicker at one point before it starts to taper down to the ankle. So you can see I'm just kind of establishing that basic shape like so. All right. I'm going to save it, continue, and I'm going to start establishing the foot the same way, and then I'll return. All right, so I'm going to extrude a quick foot here, probably worth taking a look at. And once again, we're going to be extruding and rotating these planes to get a basic shape. So I've selected the very end of the ankle. I'll click on my extrude tool, and I'm going to pull out and establish where the foot is going to come from. So I'll click the back of the heel where the heel will be. Once again, I'm going to extrude a poly like so. And I'll probably start to scale this down and taper it a bit because the heel is a little bit flatter where it meets the surface of the floor perhaps, as opposed to the inside here. So now I'll go and I'll start to work on the toes. So I'll click there. And once again, I'm just kind of spitballing this, right? I'm just kind of establishing basic shape and an angle if that foot were in the inside of that boat. And like the hand, it gets a little broader as it flares out. I'm going to rotate that up a bit to introduce the next poly. I'll hit G to repeat that. And if that were resting in the bottom of the boat, it would probably be something like that. It would also be tapered like so, just a little bit flatter. And again, I'm going to hit 3 on the keyboard. You can see pretty quickly how this is starting to pan out with just a simple few polys. Now you'll have to deal with things like proportions, right? Perhaps that foot's a little small, so it's a pretty easy, quick fix. I'm going to right click, I'll choose face. I'm just going to grab the faces that comprise the foot itself, hit my scale tool. I want this to scale from where the ankle begins, so I'll hold down D, and I'll relocate my scale tool there so that when I scale this up, it scales and stays in position. Now I want the ankle perhaps to be a little thinner, so I'll grab the edge and I'll scale, Command Z. Sometimes you can double click to get the whole edge, but in this case, because we've edited down there, we can't quite get it, so I'm going to go ahead and shift select those edges that will let me taper just the ankle. There we go. And once again, I'll hit 3, go to my object mode, deselect, and that's looking pretty good. I'm going to Command S to save.